Hopefully they're so far behind that it barely affects anything, if anything's happening. Let me do this. Back. I don't want to use that. I'll just use default. Not here. How do I wish I could open that in another window. That'd be kind of cool.
It's alright. So we're live now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yep.
Cool. Greetings, viewers.
Greetings, visitors of nobody.
Yeah. Oh, that sounded pretty loud.
Satisfying sound.
Yeah. Let me queue up and we can just talk that way. We'll do some regular stuff.
The last time I played... Hold on. While you wait. That was just bothering my OCD because it was highlighted. See, I'm not fond of the quality.
I wouldn't worry about it. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, it's still visible. It's still viewable.
Yeah, it's just washed out. But I guess that's okay.
Oh, nice. That's a nice thing. Getting goals is nice.
Off the bat.
I know. Talk about a dominant strategy right there. Look, if you want to get better at games...
Just do that.
Just get a goal right off the bat. It's the best way to work. Thank you. Thanks, Kennedy.
Kennedy?
I hope you don't get shot. Is that too soon? Oh,
no.
Gosh.
It's oops. A guy. Oh boy, we got a guy in the game.
Uh-oh. I know that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for those of you joining us, thanks for tuning in to...
Maybe we should wait.
Wait for what? I mean,
if actually somebody
says you have an audience ready to go?
No.
Well, then we're the audience. Well,
so you're welcoming yourself.
We'll wait for the first viewer. How's that?
I'm trying to think of something stupid to say. But
there is nothing stupid. I mean, that's...
Whoa, Batmobile.
Lost a wheel.
Oh, man.
Why not? Why not just wait till the first doodad?
Hey, what's up, guys? No, I don't know.
Oops. Ooh. Yeah, it is a little weird to play from this angle, but...
I told you it would be.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean...
Because that's one of the things of pro gaming is to be...
Yeah, and I mean, we can go over that on setup when we talk about setup and stuff.
Yeah.
But, this is casual play at best. I mean,
well,
it is casual play. So it doesn't really matter how I perform. Unless you extremely care about casual play.
Does it feel like 240 hertz to you? Because it doesn't to me. I don't know why.
It's fine. Oh, nice one.
Oh, wow, he missed that.
Yeah.
But a guy did not.
Do we have a viewer yet? Hello, viewers.
Is this real live? Everything is discovered feces.
Yes, it is. Real live.
No, this is a previous broadcast that we've put up as a VOD.
Well, anyway, welcome to Dominant Method.
Yeah.
Where we discuss how the pros play, the psychology of gaming, and everything.
Oh, everything is coved?
Coved? Is that what he said?
I don't... That's the name.
Oh. I thought it was everything is fecal matter. Oops.
No, that would actually be pretty... That would be terrible, though. I don't know why I would say that's going to be interesting, but...
Today we're going to discuss dominant strategy.
What is dominant strategy?
Yeah, what exactly is dominant strategy?
Yeah.
So if any of you have seen A Beautiful Mind... Have you seen that? Have you seen A Beautiful Mind?
Is that a movie?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's a movie.
Yeah.
But we got Reblow 8. Be careful.
So in the movie A Beautiful Mind, our main protagonist... Gosh, what's his name? Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe? Yeah.
Oh, wow. A guy scored.
Period. Russell Crowe is portraying a real-life character. I forget the mathematician's name, but a mathematician who discovers game theory. not the popular YouTube channel, but the actual game theory, like the mathematical equations for improving your particular strategies to win.
Right.
And you know, it is mathematical in a way. So nestled within game theory, which would be very long to try and explain, and I lack the competence to do so. Nestled within game theory is something like dominant strategy or dominant method. And rather than explain it using popular terms, I'll try and explain it using gaming terms. So a lot of you have played a game, something like Tekken or Street Fighter.
Some people, yeah.
Yeah, you played Street Fighter, right? Or have you played Tekken?
I played Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur?
But that's relatable. And Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, you could use any fighting game. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to talk and explain and do all this stuff at the same time. Yeah, so you can use pretty much any fighting game to explain this very simply. So, dominant strategy or dominant method is an emerging tactic or mathematical tactic in which you choose the strategy when you have two diametrically opposed or multiple players or whatever the scenario is, where you have opposing players where outcomes could be different. You want to choose the best strategy regardless of the rewards or non-rewards of other players. So basically you want to use the method that will most likely allow you as a player to win.
Right.
So if we look at a game like Soul Calibur or Street Fighter, I like to use Street Fighter because it's 2D and you know, pretty simple.
Street Fighter is simple.
Early Street Fighter. So if you've ever played Street Fighter, the very first time you played it, likely you didn't know all the combos and stuff.
Nice.
Oh, nice, we won.
Yeah.
Thank you. Likely you didn't know all the combos, and the friends that you played with also didn't know all the combos.
No.
So you spam the buttons.
Oh yeah.
And you hope
you would spam the buttons until you found something that
worked.
Exactly.
And finding what works is the emergent strategy that exists within game theory or dominant method.
Right.
Or a dominant strategy.
What is the word I'm looking for?
It's unbeatable.
No. It's
or not
unresearched.
Unresearched.
Uneducated. Uneducated attempts.
At least at first. So at first, when you play, both of you know nothing. Both of you don't know how to play the game. And so in that strategy, whoever spams the most and wins has found the strategy that works.
Right.
And so they'll use that over and over.
Right.
Now, for early players, there is a strategy that almost always works. And it looks something like...
it's not glorious. or technical.
Right. It might look something like crouching in the corner and just using the kick button until the person has accidentally walked into your kicks enough and they lose.
Well, yeah. It's a turtling strategy, essentially.
Yeah.
In a fighting game. Which actually can relate to other games like StarCraft. Or even some FPSs where you're turtled and you have a...
Well, can you explain what a turtle is exactly?
So
not an actual literal turtle?
No, yeah. Not a slow creature that hides in shell, but...
Right.
So turtling in the realm of, let's go real-time strategy, right? It's an extremely defensive strategy. So you invest most of your resources in just protecting your area and containing yourself, if you will.
Right.
So... a lot of early gameplay, lower league play, like in games, I'm only familiar with StarCraft, it's really long RTS I played, but you stay back, you sit in your base, and you just build like tower defense. A lot of people, tower defense isn't just a StarCraft thing, right?
No, there's plenty of games based on it. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Right.
There's a lot of mobile games based on tower defense.
Exactly. So it's essentially a lot of people have that strategy of, oh, this is undefeatable. If I protect myself, I'll never die.
So the dominant strategy in RTSs is usually what, building a wall around yourself, or something like that.
Not necessarily. Well, like I said, I only have experience with StarCraft, so that's an unfair assumption. But oh wow. Robin Dunn score. Okay.
Robin Dunn.
So yeah, that's not necessarily the dominant method in StarCraft. Could be very cheesy or unorthodox strategies.
Right.
Something that you're not necessarily expecting, like start the game and just take all your workers and attack the other person. Not many people are going to expect that. So
that might be akin to in a fighting game, just spamming all the buttons.
Yeah, exactly. You just do something dumb where you just take,
Oh, the poor guy left. I didn't mean to scare him off. Sorry, dude. So
wait, are you guys behind?
Yeah. No, he scored for us. I mean, scored for them.
Oh yeah, own goal. And then he left.
Right.
Well, that was his fault.
Yeah. I mean, and
but now there's Buzz. Buzz is here.
The best of the bots.
The best.
So yeah. So what you do is when you first start playing games, usually you're going to play people that also don't know how to play the game.
Yeah. Usually, which is good and bad.
Yeah. Well, it's good because you're allowed to learn without seeing anybody play, which allows you to express some creativity within a certain problem-solving structure. I'm telling a bot to take the shot. That's funny.
Yeah.
Speaking of creativity.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Heater is also on the kickoff, so the bot on their side.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you there is a level of creativity, but then there's also understanding that you could be overly creative, if that makes sense.
Right.
So
right.
like there's things in StarCraft where there's basic mechanics that you need to understand.
Sure.
Right? And there's things that you have to do in order to get anywhere. Otherwise you'll go nowhere, right? Mm-hmm. So these bots are trash. I don't know. They're better than the guy who probably owned gold at least.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Isn't that what Silicon Valley's trying to figure out is AI?
That's part of the educational piece, but I mean, Street Fighter's a bit unique, or fighting it in general, right? Because they could be. I feel like Street Fighter and games like that are played a lot more on a casually level because they're much more approachable, right? But there also is that scene that plays it like die-hard competitive, right? Where they go through all the intricacies and all the details. Right, where they min-max essentially, right? Like in the world of an MMO,
Can you describe to me what min-max is? Because I don't know what that is.
Yeah, you don't know what that is.
No.
So min-maxing is like for example in Diablo 3 or something like that, where
we don't speak about Diablo. After the
PG. No, we don't speak about Diablo because it doesn't exist anymore. But anyway, so you could even apply this to like an MMO world where there's like diminishing returns on stats, right? So you get certain pieces of gear to get to a cap, right? So let's say anything after 20% critical strike, right, is diminishing returns. You're just, if you invested more pieces of your gear into crit, you're just losing that. You're not losing it, but you're just not getting a whole lot instead of investing it in maybe strength or stamina or another statistic, right?
Right.
So that's min-maxing. Min-maxing is optimizing your setup for your character to have the best of everything that they can have, right? So like in competitive arena in World of Warcraft, I'll use that for example because I did do comp arena for a little bit a long time ago in Cataclysm, but you min-max your stats. Feral Druid relies on a lot of agility, but how much agility do you need? Maybe past a certain point, right? I don't remember the exact numbers, but like if you had 2,000 agility and you went up to 2,500, maybe it would be better to have 500. I don't know. I forget. Like, what was the stats? And wow, I can't remember. I don't know. Just for example, attack power. So maybe instead of getting a piece that has crit on it or agility on it, I'm sorry, you go with attack power, right? Because that's going to provide you more DPS.
But I don't know if a beginner would know this.
But that's the point. That's what I'm trying to say is where Street Fighter is more entry level, right?
There's 4 buttons or roughly,
Yeah, like on your Xbox controller,
exactly.
Y, X, B, A. Right,
and those are
and directions.
The 4 buttons of power, where RTSs use complex macros and different things that
it's a lot more APM. Now, not to say that
so
Street
that's
Fighter,
actions per minute for those that don't understand gaming or RTSs. I mean, you have to see.
Not good at articulating.
Yeah, well, yeah. So try and use layman terms or the most basic.
Yeah.
Terms,
well,
because there might be audiences or people listening that are shooter fans.
Could you safely hold on? However, we're on Twitch, right?
Right.
Could you safely assume that people on Twitch are familiar? They're already familiar.
No, I mean, I didn't understand some of the terms that you use at all.
That's true.
And it's because I've never been in that arena.
Right.
And I'm sure there's people that will use things like complex mobile lines and different
there's
attack patterns
probably tons of things I don't know.
Right.
I mean, that's a fact, actually. There's a lot of things I don't know. But I wasn't for okay, so that's cool. So Mr. Feces over there was not familiar, right? So that's fair enough.
Okay.
So that's a lesson to us, right?
Yeah.
Well, to me, because I'm the one sitting here saying APM and whatever. That's actions per minute. So in the RTS realm, a lot of things on a pro level are measured on APM, right? How many actions can you complete per minute?
Right.
And that ultimately that decides how successful you are, but that's on a much higher level, right? So
for a new player though, that isn't the dominant.
That's not even something they're thinking about.
Okay.
Most of the time, right?
Right.
You jump in a game,
you're just trying to figure it out.
You're just trying to figure it out. You're not. Like, for example, we have Noob over here. So these guys are just trying to figure it out. It's
a whole team of Noob. The best.
These guys are just trying to figure it out.
They didn't even use zeros in like an 8.
Like a real
I should have told that
early
guy
2000s.
to actually do something.
That was close.
No, it was dumb.
Well, we have Big Puffy in here, so you should be all right because Big Puffy is going to cover you. He's going to carry you.
Puffy Daddy.
Puffy Daddy.
I probably just lost half of the audience by saying Puffy Daddy. Like, who's that?
Well, if they're on Twitch, they may not understand.
P. Diddley.
P. Diddley. They may not even know who he is. P. Diddley doesn't even exist anymore?
Yeah. Well, now he's like a mogul. I mean, he's basically a shark.
Oh, is he? He's just an investor.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't.
For those who don't know what a mogul
anymore.
is.
I don't even know if that was using it right, but that was the dominant strategy of using it.
Well, and that makes sense, right? You get a bunch of money, and then what do you do with it?
You have to invest,
right?
So
eventually, you're going to become irrelevant,
right? So that strategy,
which applies to gaming. Well, let's explain how that applies to gaming.
What, investing in gaming or
fatality?
Oh, you're talking about the dominant strategy of a pro gamer.
Yeah, what a pro gamer would do these days, right?
Right.
It's like fatality is he was a pro gamer. He Twitch streams occasionally, but he partnered with Azrock, I believe.
Yes.
And now he basically sells his name
brand,
his name is as a brand.
I think it's the most powerful gamer tag to have ever existed.
Fatality is a cool name, and there's a lot of people who've replicated it, but that's not to say that people don't do that in general anyway.
Right.
You know, a lot of people will copy their favorite streamer, their favorite YouTube content creator, right?
Sure.
Or pro gamer,
or
whatever.
The style, not photography, cinematography, and different
jump skips.
Sure. Oh yeah.
How copy
this whole conversation has been
jump skips,
edits. What is it? Skip edits.
Jump skips.
Is it jump skips?
I feel
like it's called something else.
Super monkey. Hovering.
What is that term?
Jump
cut.
Jump cut. Yeah, not jump skips.
No. I used all my brain power to remember jump.
So cut. Razor 421. I'm
Super Monkey. I like Super Monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6225.
Well, we have the most chipper AI ever.
Yeah.
Well, we have.
He's happy to be here.
Yeah, you have another teammate there with like 200 ping, so that's not helping.
Right. So you look at somebody, like Fatality, like we were talking.
Yeah, and like I don't know how old some people. Like there's 4 people in here, and I'm sorry because we're older.
Yeah.
But like MTV, what was that series? MTV something Life. You remember that?
True Lives.
True Life. Yeah, that was it. They did a thing on Fatality.
Yes, I remember that.
So, and he literally stated,
that's what first got you into gaming, though, right? Or something like that.
No, I had always been into gaming, but it was a friend who got me into Unreal.
Oops, sorry.
So, but no, but it kind of gave you an idea of if you wanted to compete at a professional level.
Oh yeah.
What kind of work went into it? And a lot of people think of, you work at a certain place 8 hours a day, you know, and then you're done. And at your place of employment, you may get better at your job,
right?
Because you do it 8 hours a day.
Sure.
The same thing applies to gaming, you know, and like Fatality. One of the things he stated, he was like, I practice 14 hours a day.
Oh yeah,
you know, and what is practice? That's a whole other discussion. But
right.
The fact is you invest a lot of your life, and people should know this. I mean, if you want to compete at a professional level in anything, literally anything, if you want to be a journalist, if you want to be, you know, you see it on YouTube. People who create content on YouTube, they say, this is all I do, right? They spend the majority of their time
on thumbnails and different random
or finding a way to expand their brand, right?
Yes. Yeah. So what you're talking about then is the small little dominant strategies or dominant methods within
more of the determination,
different fields.
Yeah, but it applies to the same thing. So let's say you play Rocket League, right?
Right.
Game we're playing right now. You want to be good,
that didn't
right?
Hit me from the ceiling.
You want to be good. Let's say you've been playing 3v3 Rumble, and you're like, yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident. You know, hey,
right.
Maybe I get a gold a game.
Sure.
Right? I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Should you join comp?
You know, I don't know. I think, and so how I explained this to a friend of mine who was asking about, well, it wasn't even about winning a game particularly, but just about productivity in their...
Like how to get better, or how to spend your time more
effectively.
efficiently.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you hear people talk about being 3 times more productive or 100 times more productive or whatever it is, it's not about actually doing more. It's about getting the same amount of stuff done in far less time.
Right.
So, like, if traditionally it takes 4 years to get a graduate degree, but you figured out a way to get all that same amount of learning in a much shorter time, you haven't really accomplished more, because both of you are going to accomplish the same thing.
Right.
Right. So,
but you accomplish more within a smaller time frame.
Right. It's compressing the learning.
Right.
Is what we're talking about.
Right.
Compressing the learning. So when a person first starts playing a game, if they started based on never playing the game and just buying it randomly, which doesn't happen anymore.
No. There's too many things like reviews and...
Right. When I was a kid, you went to Toys R Us and you bought a game.
Not even. You would go to like...
I'm telling you for me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would go to like an electronics boutique and just say, oh, wow, the cover looks really cool.
Exactly.
Which means that marketing team just had to do a really good job.
Yeah.
So.
And it's one blip shooting another blip.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just what captures like Rush.
Right.
Remember Rush?
Right. Yeah.
Rush, the cover just looked cool.
It was like cool cars doing cool stuff.
Like, whereas something like Gran Turismo, the cover looked boring, but had you read Game Informer... Right?
Yep.
Had you done research, you would say, okay, that's what that game's about, right? And I remember reading an advert in Game Informer for Gran Turismo. This is back in like when PlayStation was coming out, and that was Gran Turismo 1, right? Where the advert literally just had a bunch of it was, I don't know if it was, I can't remember if it was actually gameplay footage or screenshot, right? But it had some sort of...
I wonder how they would record it back then.
Yeah, I don't know, because they didn't...
Oh, you know what? They had development PCs and stuff.
They probably just screenshot it.
Yeah.
Like Mario 64 was developed on a massive supercomputer essentially at the time. But anyway, I remember seeing the advert and I didn't completely understand. Yeah, I was young. I don't remember how old I was, but I was really young. And I remember seeing the advert and not fully understanding what it was even advertising, but I was like, if that's a game, I want it.
Yeah.
Like, that looks cool.
So
that's all I remember.
To intercede here, or to cut you off, I bought Star Fox 64, and for those of you who grew up during the
the great Nintendo 64
N64 era, which some view as great and some view as the worst era, or whatever.
No. Whoever views it as worse has no idea,
or just doesn't understand.
No,
so
exactly.
Yeah, I bought Star Fox 64 just based on the size of the box.
Was it bigger?
Yeah, because it had the Rumble Pack. It had the Rumble Pack nestled within it, and it was awesome.
I don't recall. I never bought that. I think I know people. Well, I know people obviously about it, but I never played it. I don't recall what I even bought an N64 for. Usually, I bought consoles for
the Blu-ray.
Yeah, for the Blu-ray in 1995. What did I buy N64 for? I know I bought PlayStation 1 for Gran Turismo. I bought PlayStation 2 for Gran Turismo. I bought a PS3 for Gran Turismo. So that shows like exclusives do sell consoles.
Yes,
which is a
they
fact,
do.
Obviously.
That is a dominant method.
I don't understand. What is it
well, we started on... Okay, so I started on... Yeah, I started on productivity.
Right. Which we're now being unproductive by just getting sidetracked.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, well, all those little details are fun to listen to. Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. Maybe Mario Kart 64. I can't remember, actually.
I got pretty good at Mario Kart 64.
You did get pretty good, which is why I feel like part of the reason why you succeed at this game.
This is nothing like Mario Kart 64.
No, it's not. But it's the fact that it's an arcade racer. Because what have I said for the past 5 minutes? Gran Turismo, which was the ultimate racing simulator, right? That's what that was.
Uh-huh. I'm looking at what Fecal Matter's saying over there.
Well, he's conveying... Because I said I don't know why I bought an N64.
Oh, you're saying maybe Mario Kart 64? Okay.
I don't know, because I don't even think I had Mario Kart 64. I remember playing
And for those of you who are watching on what we're not... if you can't see the comments, there's a commenter named Fecal Matter.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Right. For those who are actually just deciding to listen to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't recall. But the point being is the reason I think you succeed at this game more than I do is your mind's more tuned, right?
Oh, for non-realistic racing.
For arcade, right? Whereas I'm more simulation-based to the extent that I have a racing wheel, right? I have the full setup to experience sim racing. Oh. Wow, that was a good kickoff.
Apparently.
Wow. Just soloed the team. So that's why I'm thinking. I played a lot of Rush. Rush was a really fun game, but I can't remember. I'd have to think about it. But anyway, I'd have to actually just think about it.
So yeah, so in productivity,
right?
I think there are a few major components, but I think I'm going to try and sum it up in like. I'm just going to try and sum it up.
Wow, that was a lag hit.
Yeah, based on how you set goals within any structure.
Yeah.
Right. So most people actually don't set goals; they set strategies, and I'll explain that. So for a person, for instance, a person says, for my goal, I want to go to Harvard. I want to learn law. I want to become a lawyer. Right?
Right.
And you think, oh man, that's a great goal. What a great idea.
But you're in a structured environment, keep in mind.
Sure. But let me explain. So they say, I want to do these 3 things or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or it's one whole thing, but it's really 3 things. So in their idea that they're setting a goal, they're actually setting strategies. The real goal is that they want to feel respected, which is why you go to Harvard. You don't go to Harvard because so you learn law the same way everywhere else. I mean, law is law, right?
Right.
You could say the teachers are better. You could say the teachers are better, but within that, you actually have chosen strategies. The real goal is that you want to be respected, you want to be productive and able to take care of yourself, right?
Right.
That's really the goal. The strategy that you've chosen to fulfill that goal is that I've decided to go to Harvard, learn law, and become a lawyer.
Right.
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 And so I think that within any game, they've really chosen for themselves a strategy to prove themselves in some way.
Right.
And so nestled within the goal is really the strategy. So most people pick strategies, not goals.
Yep.
And then nestled within the goal is the strategy. Nestled within the strategy is a system that you then have to choose. So the system the person chooses is then, let's say he does go to Harvard, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the whole getting into Harvard doesn't matter, right?
Because that's a whole thing on its own.
Yeah. So that's a whole thing on its own. So we'll just ignore that because it's not...
So could you relate... Okay. Yeah, we'll ignore that for now.
Okay. So we'll ignore that. So he gets into Harvard. And then he has to develop a system. And he says, well, okay, so in order for me to fulfill this goal or strategy, mm-hmm. He then has to study every day. He has to make sure he doesn't miss a class.
Right.
He has to eat right, sleep right, not party too much or at all.
Right.
And then he graduates at the high end, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And there you go. There's a system. Now, within that system, and then maybe he does like some, what do you call it when you work under someone?
Internship.
Intern or apprentice-like work.
Yeah.
Right? And that is all within the system. The system fulfills the strategy. Okay? You follow so far?
Yeah.
Now, within the system are tactics. So one tactic is cheating.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So in gaming...
And in gaming, that exists.
It's the major part of gaming. Like, right? Unless you did all the other... So another tactic is working hard, studying up, practicing, doing all the work, getting everything right. Right? These are all small little tactics that are built within the system that allow you to accomplish a strategy, and the strategy allows you to hit your goal, your real goal.
Right. There was actually a Counter-Strike team that just got caught cheating.
Oh, wow.
Not
a
that
team.
long ago.
So, like, they played competitively.
Well, it was a player on the team, but however, the whole team disbanded.
Oh, wow. So they knew about it.
Yeah, they had to have. And they caught him at the event while competing.
Oh, wow.
Like, it was something on the machine.
No kidding.
Yep.
So, like, he plugged in a USB, and then all of a sudden...
Yeah, I assume so, because it was rank. Someone knows your smartphone.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, dudes.
Yeah. Well, this is... Nobody cares.
I didn't I'm...
You're just playing.
Yeah, I'm just... you see, that's
not even... But this isn't comp, so it's kind of irrelevant, right?
Well, how would he know unless he knew?
Is it comp, though?
No.
Okay, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So go play comp if you're concerned about rank.
Yeah,
right?
he's got HIV anyway. This dude named HIV.
And then that was Lord Enix, like Square Enix.
Yeah. Oh,
wow, good defense on their part. But yeah, no,
But does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
So basically, I was explaining within productivity, you need to not over-identify with your goal when it's really just a strategy.
The whole thing is.
Yeah.
Within getting better, or within playing the game. So there's a game strategy, and then there's a strategy to get better at the game.
Right. And so you can sit within a game and say, well, I want to be the very best. No. So you want to be someone like, I don't know. Depends on what game you look at. But let's say you want to be in the top 5% of gamers,
right?
Or of that game, of that particular game. And so you set a goal when in reality you just set a strategy.
Right.
That's not really your goal. So your goal is that you want to be respected amongst people that play this game,
or you just want to rank up. Because how many games?
That's a strategy.
Yeah, but how many games these days have a competitive system?
Right? So not many. Well, this one.
This one does. League of Legends. Most MOBAs do, right?
Okay.
Most, like Call of Duty has like... I don't play Call of Duty.
Yeah, CSGO, Call of Duty, Global
Overwatch
Warfare,
does. I know Overwatch does. But, you know...
Warcraft has like your leveling system.
Well, Warcraft has leveling system, but for PvP, right? Yeah, I mean, there is a competitive scene for PvE as well.
Oh, there you go.
Which is who can clear a mythic dungeon in the quickest amount of time. So, but MMOs are a bit unique in the aspect of there's a little bit more involved, right? So it's not just like in World of Warcraft, you need to understand rotation, right? You need to understand your class, and you need to and a lot of people who PvP play one class. You know?
Well, that's
the thing. So someone mains a priest or someone mains a warrior, and that's what they play. Now, not necessarily, maybe not so much nowadays because I'm not that familiar with it, but back in the day, that's how it was. Where that was a save and a half. But that's how it was. So there's a bigger aspect, but then again, those games aren't approachable in the same fashion as Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, right?
Sure.
Where you just buy the disc, put it in your console, and start playing. These are games that you pay for monthly, so you're already investing monetarily,
right?
Or with money. So you're gonna, and there are people who play it just for the lore and the content, whatever. But there's also a majority who play PvE at a competitive level or PvP. So those people take it serious, right? That getting through the leveling system and the content is just mundane. They're there to play one aspect of it. So you research, right? You learn how to play your class effectively. You study, you read, you practice, right? Rotation, or you learn stat-specific things. So those kind of games are a little bit more complicated than something where it's just actual ability, maybe like Rocket League, right? Rocket League is, yeah, you have to learn how the game works and understand the physics of it behind it. But wow, that was interesting, actually.
Yeah.
But there's more education, I would say, required to have a level of success, right? Because you can't go into that game and just spam buttons.
Well, okay,
because you're not going to do
what
anything.
you're talking about is like, so nestled within the goal of gaming, which one might say is, I want to be really good at this particular game. Like, that's the real goal behind everything.
Right.
Then if you are naturally not good at a game, right, it would be a bad strategy to pick a game you're not good at.
Right.
So the goal at the top is you want to be good. You want to be respected and good at a game.
Yeah, yeah. Which,
Right.
which, like, for example, and this is something we've discussed, is trying new games, right?
Sure.
I'm good at FPS. You know, you're good at Rocket League, and
That's debatable.
well, maybe not tonight because there's some
yeah. There's some.
alcohol involved.
Yeah, we
but-
have some.
And this is, and we're also in a statistically proven that streaming is a distraction anyway,
Right.
which I really respect the people who still play at a
It
professional
really
level.
raised my
But-
appreciation for that.
That's another discussion we could actually have, and how what would you call that? It's not cognitive, is it?
No, I would call that.
Because it becomes more muscle memory at that point. You're so good at the game.
That you can play
Your
without
body can
thinking
play
about
it,
Well,
not your mind,
so
right?
so to shout out one player that I really appreciate and who just won the I think world champ is Squish. Well, he didn't win, but his
Squishy
team
Muffins.
won. Yeah, Squish and Muffins on Cloud9. They did a fantastic job, first of all.
Which
And-
threes are a completely separate game than
Right.
1v1, right?
Yeah, and that's a whole nother topic in itself. But
It is, yeah.
But he did a fantastic job, and he generally does.
He's a good player.
Right.
Even 1v1,
But
he's actually a good player.
So as far as speaking and playing, he has a good habit of critiquing himself as he plays, identifying the certain moves that he makes
Right.
during gameplay.
Right.
Right, which is a tactic that's nestled within his strategy, or really within his system of play.
Right.
Because his system might be, play a couple of games of ones, play a couple of games of twos, and then focus on threes until you go to competition.
Right.
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 So what I'm saying is that
So basically, you're saying work on mechanics, then work on another piece, and then work on like team play.
what I'm saying is a little bit more basic than that. So I'm saying that a person shouldn't view a game as their goal. First you should enjoy it. Right? You should enjoy the game that you play, right? Because choosing an enjoyable game is a strategy, right? The goal is that you want to be good at a game and you want to be respected within the game that you play.
Right.
And respect could come from people that appreciate you or just, enjoy playing with you because you play well.
Right.
And then getting good.
Dislike you because you play well.
That too.
I've experienced that.
But that's
as well.
a sort of respect that you enjoy.
Yes and no.
So, but let's look at it as the framework that I described it as. So you have the overall goal is you want to be respected and play a game well. So it doesn't matter what game you choose, right? If it's competitive gameplay, great, because I think that's one of the best ways to accomplish the game and get better at a game.
Right.
So let's say the goal is that, and then you choose the strategy of playing the game StarCraft, right?
Right.
Or let me use Rocket League because
You don't understand enough StarCraft.
I know because that's why I'm going to use Rocket League because I can probably better explain it using Rocket League. So within that strategy, you decide on a system. So you play a little bit of competitive Rocket League and realize that you're awful at team play. Mm-hmm. You can't score to save your life.
But how do you realize that?
You realize because you play the game.
Because you're continually losing?
Yeah.
Okay.
You continually lose. People can't rely on you, and when you practice. You can play pretty good in practice, but whatever, you just can't do it.
Right.
So you said, well, I'm not going to change the strategy because I really enjoy Rocket League, right?
Right.
So you don't quit a game just because you're bad at it. You quit it, you continue to play. Mm-hmm. But within it, you change the system.
Right.
So in Rocket League, there are tons of respected, really good players. Dang, we're going to lose. I didn't even realize it. There's tons of really good, respected players, right? Because they play really well.
Right.
But on top of that, there are players who do freestyle.
Yeah, and they're not good at anything else.
and they're respected. So they've accomplished their goal using the same strategy, which is to play Rocket League,
right?
But using a different system nestled within that strategy.
Yeah, yeah.
And then their tactics is I'll just play free play all day, which allows me infinite boost.
Yeah,
and I can play around with all the different ways I can get better at the game.
For people who watch like Johnny Boy stream,
right?
I believe they have unlimited boost during their 1v1 freestyle face-offs. Usually. So, and they get featured and they get respected, and people are like,
people pay them.
Yeah.
People enjoy them so much because what they do is so different from the competitive play that they've totally chosen a different system nestled within the same strategy of playing Rocket League.
Right.
And to me, that's so fantastic. I think that's great because, so when, like for instance, and just to give a even shorter illustration, when you play, God, what's that game? Modern Warfare? What is that?
Yeah, Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. When you play Call of Duty, it
unless I Call of Duty, which I would concur and agree with, but that's another subject.
Call of Duty spawned a meme called 360 No Scope. At least I think that came from Call of Duty.
Yeah, I believe it did come from Call of Duty.
So that came from Call of Duty, and obviously, so if the goal is become a better gamer, become respected, and play well, right? That's the real goal. The strategy is I'll do that by playing Call of Duty,
right?
Because a lot of people enjoy that game and play it.
I don't know what the competitive scene of Call of Duty looks like.
But let's say the competitive scene is so difficult that you get shot within 15 seconds. Well, then I'll just do cool shots for the time that I'm alive.
So that would be freestyle in that game.
360 no scopes and all these different things, and blind headshots.
Yeah. I guarantee if you went on YouTube right now,
there would be a market for it. Because
a huge montage video of just like 360 no scopes.
Yeah, so I think nestled within the strategy of choosing a game is the system of either choosing to be really good,
really good mechanically.
Or let's say in team play or competitively.
Yeah, really okay, and then really good just mechanically, which leads to stylistic play.
Exactly, generally speaking.
Now, how would that apply to UT?
So in a game like Unreal Tournament, if you're unfamiliar with Unreal Tournament, it's something like Overwatch, but not without.
Maybe not Overwatch. Yeah. It's something more like it's a Quake. It's a Quake competitor. For those who don't understand,
I don't know if
Quake,
there's a new game that can be.
There isn't a new game. That's the problem.
Yeah. So back in the day, they did arena shooters in which you'd have to go find weapons. I think it's more akin to like Halo, if anything.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, it's more sci-fi. It's a sci-fi kind of shooter.
You'd have to find weapons and then get as many kills as you can.
So here's an example. For those who've played Doom...
There you go.
If you've played Doom, you've basically played Quake.
Right. And if you played Quake, you've sort of played UT.
Yeah, and if you played Quake, you've sort of played UT, but older UTs had more complex movement models, if that makes sense. That guy's just random. Whereas nowadays, if you go and download like the UT4 beta, it's not a whole lot like the UT that a lot of us loved and played. That's a whole separate... I can go on a tangent about that forever, which we won't. But, yeah. There's... Why do we bring up UT?
Because we're talking about... You're asking what is the professional versus cool...
Oh, stylistic. Yeah, I don't... maybe there is a bit of a stylistic play. You could, like... There's one player who was particularly amazing at combos, right?
There you go.
And he did it well. And combos are an alternate... They're a difficult thing where you shoot an alternate fire. You right-click, right? Certain thing comes out, and then you shoot.
It takes a major measure of hand-eye coordination and...
but if done effectively...
And aim and accuracy and all that
kind
of stuff.
If done effectively, it is extremely OP.
Right.
And
so, well, that's the dominant strategy of
right, and actually, and it is. So that shock rifle is a very overpowered weapon. It has the ability to make... If you're getting hit by it, you're being pushed, essentially. And thus you can't move, and thus, if you're accurate enough, you're going to... Or if you're accurate enough, you're going to get a lot of kills. Oops. That's all that is to that. But that's a dominant method. And, and that's not something that you can just do. It takes practice. You need to understand the mechanics of the weapon, how it works, and how to conserve it, and when to use it.
Right.
You know, there are times where it is a disadvantage, but that's part of the education piece, or self-education, right? And watching maybe people play.
So sure, do you think within that though that a person because also within UT are certain competitive leagues in which the dominant method would not be to use not necessarily shot combos. Dang. Although they are very effective, something like in most first-person shooters, the dominant method is actually damage output, right? At least from what you told me.
A lot of people think accuracy.
Okay. Yeah, but generally, it doesn't matter how accurate you are.
Right.
If you're not
a lot of people think accuracy leads to high damage output, and that isn't necessarily true. A lot of it is strategic map control and
sure,
being
in the right place,
do the right
thing.
Understanding how to put yourself in the right place. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest challenge of that game. It's not, and it's actually kind of similar to Rocket League in the sense of positionally, rotating properly helps you be in the right place at the right time.
Right.
You could argue that, and I feel like a lot of games allow for that. Like, had you maybe sat back there, instead of rushing forward.
That was a bad decision.
Well, and that's the point. But that could be that's a trained behavior that you can correct. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's something you could say, okay.
If that's what I thought gave me if that's what I really thought helped me accomplish the goal.
Right.
Like if doing a cool double touch shot in one game made me feel better than winning the game, then I'll do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
if doing the 360 no scope made me feel better than winning that particular match in Call of Duty, then doing that would be the better option.
Right. Absolutely, yeah. No, and like this game is challenging. And I really enjoy this game in the sense of the skill cap. I love it because I love the fact that a silver player is so vastly different than
right
even a plat, right? Like they're the skill. I like games like that, and I feel like games like that will always have a competitive scene.
Yeah, I think anywhere there's a distribution of skill, you can kind of
a far distribution of skill, right?
If that's what you care about, though.
Well, and that's the thing, though.
Like, because the people that play Minecraft, there's a creative distribution. People have programmed computers within the Minecraft universe.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, like you can check that out on YouTube. People have not programmed a computer,
but
using Minecraft.
It's probably like all redstone or something,
sure,
like that. But it's I don't know. Can any game be competitive?
Yes. So like we were talking about. So the goal is that you want to be respected as a gamer, right?
Yeah, but we brought up Minecraft.
Right. I know. So the goal is you want to be respected and feel like you're good at a game, right? Mm-hmm. So a game like a platformer, like let's say the first Mario Brothers. How do people prove that they're good at the game?
Speed runs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You went exactly to where I was thinking.
Yeah.
And that's because that's the only way to do it.
Right.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. That's the only way to do it because there's a handful of ways you might be able to do it.
Well, you say that.
Might be blindfolded. Might be without a TV. Or I don't know. Something
Super
like
Mario
that.
Maker is a great example.
Yep.
Because it allows people to create content.
And people don't create fun levels.
No.
They create the worst levels ever.
And they create the most difficult levels. What was that?
I forgot who I am. Who I am. No, you just needed that boost because you're so good at sucking.
Yeah.
God. Oh, you just needed to spike it because you're going in the wrong direction.
And this is what professional Rocket League looks like.
Well, I'm just commentating. Professional commentary.
Professional.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Dre Beats.
Dr. Ray.
No, it's Dre Beats.
It's Dr. A.
Yeah, Dr. A.
Hey.
The Calculator. I do like that title.
Yeah, that's not bad.
There was another one that people were using for quite a bit. What was that? Ball Chaser.
Yeah.
When that first came out. That's probably the last time I played Rocket League.
Oops.
I am not good at Rocket League.
But yeah, so pretty much if you say, well, I want to be in speedrunning, you're really saying that I want to be respected by gamers who play this game.
Other gamers.
Yeah. Other gamers who play this game.
Yeah.
And your strategy
Other Super Mario gamers.
Right. Well, maybe. I respect speedrunners, and I don't even do speedrunning.
Right. But a lot
I do play Super Mario. So.
But you have to concede that other speedrunners, right? That's an interesting one. Other speedrunners are going to look at you and say, wow, that was good. And they may learn from you.
So, yes. So within, okay, so the goal is you want to be a better gamer, be respected. The strategy is I'm going to do speedrunning. Mm-hmm. The system is I'm going to keep playing this game until I don't mess up, mm-hmm. right? And the tactics are I'm going to use everybody's, how do you say, everybody's time codes and methods in order to use it or to find glitches and mm-hmm. wall hacks and different other things within it.
Right,
That's your tactics. And so for speedrunners, the tactics change all the time because people keep shaving off a second. Yep. They keep doing this, that, and the other.
Dude, there were people who... What was that? Benny Fodder's... what was that one game you bought for like $5?
Oh, Getting Over It.
Getting Over It.
Yeah.
There was people who speedrun that.
Yeah.
And that just came out.
Right.
Which, I mean, yeah, whatever. But the point is that I guess that makes sense. Yeah, people do everything competitively. People want to succeed and do something better than the next player. And
right.
You know, I guess that exists in any game.
And there's a level of enjoyment. They don't just do it because they want the respect. They also enjoy that particular way of doing it.
Yeah.
And enjoyment becomes in choosing, or it comes from in choosing the right strategy. Mm-hmm. Like, so maybe you hate speedrun, like me. I would hate speedrunning.
I respect them, but I don't care.
Yeah, huge respect. And so they've accomplished their goal. Their real goal is to be respected by other gamers and also to master a game.
Right.
But I don't enjoy that way of doing that.
Right.
So I pick Rocket League because I enjoy it, and my strategy is to figure out how to become really good within a short amount of time. And I became a champ under 250 hours.
Right.
Which to me was incredible after seeing people that are Champ 2 and Champ 1 and all these other versions.
But they have thousands of hours.
But they have like 2,500 hours. Dang, that was sucky. That wasn't Champ.
No, but I guess now there's Comp Rumble.
Yeah, that's what we're in right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's something I'll never play, so that's
right.
Great. But yeah.
Good shot.
Ooh, that was close. Okay. Man, Rumble is so weird.
Yeah.
I am not accustomed to Rumble.
So, again, here's another strategy or another system within the game mm-hmm. to try and prove how good you are at it. So, let's say you suck at 2s or 1s or 3s.
Right.
Then you play this.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Ooh, that was
nice one,
kind of a team play, but
yeah,
not really.
It was a team play because the other guy was sucking the ball.
Well, I think he got bumped into him, look.
Yeah. No. He pushed the other guy out of the way.
No, he got bumped.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There you go. Nice one.
That worked out.
I guess he doesn't believe it's nice. He thinks I'm criticizing him.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm like, oh, yeah, nice one. Stole my shot.
No.
Yeah, that's what he thinks. That's why he's saying.
No. Yeah, I get that. That's what he thinks, but that wasn't the intention, obviously.
I know, but you can't explain the same thing. I really do. I'm glad that he... How did he not blow up?
He's your teammate.
Oh! Let's see, I got too much into the conversation.
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, I think, if you really want to get good at gaming, right, we discussed the dominant method, which is finding the best way to play and just playing that way. But also, it's good to understand that the system that the strategy that you chose or the goal that you chose is really usually just a strategy. Mm-hmm. And nestled within that strategy is the system of how you're going to use the strategy.
Right.
And then within that are all the little tactics that you learn along the way. And the tactics transfer, the systems transfer. A person who plays one first-person shooter can usually play another first-person shooter
somewhat well.
Right.
Because
there's some transference.
Like for me, for example, I always play low sensitivity, even though that may only be something that applies really well or Unreal Tournament receives very well.
Right.
If I play Overwatch, it's going to be low sensitivity. But if I play StarCraft, it's going to be high sensitivity. So there are variances between the types of games that you play.
Right.
But maybe you should save that one.
For what?
Wow, uncommon topper.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. I think most people have that right now. Maybe throw on a replay real quick because I'm going to take a quick break.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or you can keep playing.
No. I think we can call it here. What do you think? It's been about an hour.
Yeah, you want to do that?
Yeah. So thanks for joining us. You learned what dominant method is. You learned a little bit about how to choose proper goals and realize that a lot of the goals you already choose is just strategy nestled within that goal.
Right.
And hopefully we'll see you next time.
Yep, absolutely. Take care, guys.
Next Friday or something.
Yeah, next Friday at 7:30.
All right. Bye.
Bye.